at the 1962 Ohio State Fair. Astronaut Glenn has come to honor the achievements in science of some of America's young people. Scientists of tomorrow make last-minute adjustments in their models as they await Glenn's arrival.
Mike, what's the principle that this thing works on now?
Well, basically, it's what's known as the Venturi principle, where I take a large mass of air, then constrict it, which increases the velocity of the air, and then I splay it out over a large area using the Coanda effect on the bottom.
That's good. You show us how it works. Well, you know, John Glenn is going to visit the science fair this afternoon. If you had an opportunity to ask him a question, what would you ask?
I think I'd ask him just what sort of perhaps fear he felt before he took the flight, and how did you overcome them and the worries you had, the anxieties that you experienced.
Well, I think we fear that which we know the least about. I think, as my brother-in-law Jim Hosey told me here a little while ago, we were discussing some of these things in the morning here, and Jim said, really, the young people that we're talking to here today are our greatest natural asset. Keep this tremendous curiosity that so many of you have. This is a wonderful thing. Wonder about everything. Question everything. How can you make it better? How can you do things differently that would benefit us more? And in the next room over here, these are some of I think that's probably the best collection of science exhibits from any group like this that I've ever seen anywhere. And I've attended quite a number of science fairs, too.
Glenn's speech was an astronaut's attempt to convey, as simply as possible, the motivations that impel men to hazard the exploration of outer space.
My talk today won't be very long. I have but a few very informal remarks. Some thoughts on the science fair, these winners, this being Youth Day here at the fair, and just a few informal thoughts I'd like to share with you this morning, maybe, or this afternoon, rather, in this regard. These people that are the science fair winners have one thing that youth always seems to have that most of the rest of us should certainly concentrate on keeping. We desperately need curious people, and I certainly hope that they can keep the curiosity that they have. The asking of why and how, an inquiring mind, is really, to me, the basis of learning and new knowledge. The proper use of all of this knowledge that we're gaining, however, is what will keep America strong, and by sharing this as we do with all of our friends throughout the world, it benefits all mankind.
To some of the young scientists, the personal contact with John Glenn will remain a vivid memory that may one day lead them into a more active participation in America's space program. To Colonel Glenn's statement that youth is our greatest national resource, we might add, develop the resource well. The great discoveries of the future rest in the young minds of today.